I'm Danforth Prince, talking from the floor of Gay Expo here at the Javits Center in New York City, on the eve of the release of our guidebook to 50 years of queer cinema, which will be available in about 3 weeks. I'd like to mention the degree to which I have been humbled and informed and increasingly proud of my status as a gay man when reviewing the vast production, brilliant production of films produced by gay and lesbian filmmakers about all aspects of the not only gay experience but the human experience. In reviewing these 600 films, we've learned a great deal about how rich that tradition has been. We are at the Rainbow Book Fair. It's March 2010. It's a book fair in the CUNY Center in New York City, devoted to showcasing the product of gay and lesbian publishing in America. Blood Moon will be releasing in 2 weeks a reference, source, and gossip guide to 50 years of queer cinema.
And I'm very honored to exhibit our literary product at Urban Bear Weekend. It's today, May 15th, 2010. And this is a weekend of amusing good times for bear and leather men throughout the United States. And we are exhibiting and we are showcasing the release of our gay film guide. 50 years of queer cinema, 500 of the best GLBT films ever made. We looked out into the literary marketplace, and there is nowhere by any other publishing house any guidebook that does the retrospective of 50 years of the best gay and lesbian films ever made. So we at Blood Moon Productions have compiled the world's first reference, source, and gossip guide to 50 years of queer filmmaking. And I'm honored to be present at Urban Bear Weekend with the organizer of that fine event, Mr. Robert Vallon. It is also prominent within Leather Invasion and organizes many important leather events for the leather community. A dwindling number of venues are available to the leather community. We're very grateful for Robert for doing what he does. So, Mr. Vallon, with great respect for your ability to define and market the bear community and the leather community, I think the world would be very, very interested in asking you any ideas you have on what the demographics and what the spending power of that community would be.
Well, the demographic, no pun intended, has grown and is getting larger. But basically, what I think started as the bear community being maybe 35, above 35 to 60, 70 years old, huskier, more hirsute men, has literally expanded into a much more diverse group of people, ranging from their admirers and younger guys who don't necessarily, or anybody actually, it doesn't necessarily identify with what the stereotypical cookie-cutter image of a gay man is.
It could even be argued that as the American male population ages, the term bear could mean any man over 40. And the hairiness and the added weight that we get is an attempt by our community to attach an aesthetic to that group, even an eroticism to that group. But I would argue that nonetheless it could be argued that any single male, any male over age 40 really is by definition almost a member of the bear community, and therefore its demographics are vast.
I would agree with that.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I want to thank Robert Vallon officially for organizing UrbanBearWeekend.com. He's worked hard and we are grateful for his efforts. Thank you, Robert Vallon.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Danforth Prince from Blood Moon Productions, but what I also want to say is that I'm a staff writer at the Fromer Travel Guides, and it is in that capacity that I've spoken to Dan Howell, who is the owner of the travel agency which does more gay bookings on cruise ships than any other company in America, if I understand.
Correct, yes. We own vacationgay.com and bearcruise.com, which are our websites.
Fabulous. You are Dan Howell, and the company you work for is, say it again?
Dan Howell Travel.
Dan Howell Travel, based in Cincinnati.
That's correct. correct, of all places.
Now, if I understand correctly, your forte has been bringing your cruise ship business up to that of more than any other equivalent company traveling to sea in America.
That's right.
And what's happening is now a creative shift in your focus in that you are going into land-based cruise tours exclusively for gay men who define themselves as bears.
That's right. I've been doing this for 20 years. Through our website, bearcruise.com, we noticed that going on cruises that bears really enjoyed being together. You know, it's fun to be mixed with a bunch of people, but the bears stick together. So
I happen to be a great fan of Parliament House in Orlando, which my belief would be, and not to compromise the integrity of your product in any way, is that this is a 200-room, 200-unit, medium-sized hotel directly on the sands of Playa del Carmen, one of the best beaches in the Yucatan, and you will fill it entirely at very economical terms with good-looking bear men for one happy week in October.
that's right. And, you know, it's so reasonable, and we didn't, you know, there's other products out there that are similar, and we wanted to make this affordable to everyone. $8.95 per person based on 2 people in the room in a garden or pool view. Obviously, we have for a full week, 7 nights.
Airfare is extra.
Airfare is extra. Your transfers to and from the resort are $25. Nothing.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great party.
It will be a great party, and we all want you to be there.
You could probably fill the whole hotel with this experience.
Absolutely.
And you have booked the entire hotel.
With the whole hotel, there'll be no one else there but us.
I think this will be a wonderful experience. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
And we hope to see you all there.
Just a note of information about some new developments at Blood Moon. Last week we hired a web developer called EverPub, based in Maryland, run by Mr. Neil Levin, who will be designing Blood Moon's new access to the world of information. The new website will be up and running probably in 2 months. That's around about July. It will lay out in an organized way every book we've ever published, every video ever made associated with that title, every literary recommendation ever made, buying sources, numbers of copies, whatever they do magically in the magic world of book buying. This new website will incorporate that information on it. This is Danforth Prince from Blood Moon Production, bringing you an up-to-date about what we're doing at Blood Moon. Many, many thanks for your time.
I'd like to dedicate this video to Roy Mosley, and I'd like to tell you about his work with Blood Moon Productions. And the title of the book is Damn You, Scarlett O'Hara, and it's the private lives of Sir Laurence Olivier and his lovely wife Vivian Lee, of whom we are deep and devoted artistic fans. Roy was the confidant of Larry and Vivian. He was their adopted godson. He was their personal assistant for years and years and years. He procured, he may even have done a bit of pimping, we're afraid, but during his role in the life of the Oliviers, he compiled a dossier of fascinating stories, tragic stories, empathetic stories, stories of all ilk, of all degrees of literary merit and raunchiness. So I'd like to dedicate this to Roy Mosley and welcome him into our fold of Blood Moon writers for the work he'll be doing in our upcoming November release of Damn You, Scarlett O'Hara, The Private Lives of Laurence Olivier and Vivian Lee. It's important I mention the co-author of this will be Darwin Porter, who's noted for many award-winning biographies of, among others, Paul Newman, Merv Griffin, Katharine Hepburn, Humphrey Bogart, Steve McQueen, Michael Jackson. Thank you.
I'm going to do Céline Parade. And for the purposes of our francophone listeners, we're going to now switch to my bad French. Céline, bienvenue au Blood Moon Productions. Bienvenue à cet stage que tu suis aux États-Unis avec nous. Tu nous as beaucoup aidé et nous en sommes bien reconnaissants. La question que je te pose pour toi et pour toute la France, si tu veux, quelles sont les leçons que tu as apprises depuis votre début, depuis ton début au Blood Moon, au sujet de Hollywood et ses vieilles légendes?
J'ai appris qu'il y avait beaucoup de secrets qui n'étaient pas révélés du temps vivant de ces personnes et que c'est très intéressant maintenant de voir réapparaître ces secrets grâce à Blood Moon Production and Danforth Prince and Darwin Porter. Et je trouve ça très intéressant et aussi à travers cela, ça fait revivre un peu la paillette de l'ancien monde d'Hollywood qui reste quand même le plus intéressant et le plus magnifique. Il a donné la donne, on va dire que Hollywood avant, c'est pourquoi Hollywood est comme ça maintenant. C'est pas très clair, je suis désolée.
J'apprécie beaucoup ces sentiments, merci infiniment Céline. Céline Parade, Villeneuve-Loubet en France.
New York City.
Dans le midi de la France.